Welcome back to Boring Gear Reviews. This week we've got the Dirty Sock FX Black One. Thank you so much to Ewan for sending me the Black One to demo. So Dirty Sock FX was started in 2017 by Ewan, and they are based out of Sydney, Australia. The Black One is based on the Life circuit. So essentially we have a rat-style distortion, a boost, and then an octave up fuzz. And while this circuit has become very popular lately, the Black One definitely has its own take and own flavor. In my time with it, I can say that it gets gnarlier and fuzzier and spittier than probably any other of this type of circuit that I've tried. For controls, we have deformation, and that'll control the amount of distortion. Turn it clockwise for more distortion, anti-clockwise for less distortion. Then we have refine. Refine is going to be a low pass filter. So all the way counterclockwise and it's not cutting anything. And then the more clockwise you turn it, the more high end it's going to roll off. Mass is going to control the output of the octave and distortion side of the pedal, and that is controlled by the foot switch on the right. Then we have weight, which controls the JFET boost. There's a crazy amount of volume and push on the weight side, so it's really fun to play with that. And the way it kind of sits, it sounds like it's exploding, but it still stays contained. It's amazing. And that is controlled by the foot switch on the left side. And the knob on the bottom right side is going to control the octave. So all the way counterclockwise, there's no octave. And then the more you turn it up, the more that octave introduced. And then when you turn it all the way up, it gets very unstable and really spitty and gnarly. And at the center of the Black One, we have a clipping toggle switch. All the way up will be asymmetrical clipping, so it'll be a little bit compressed. All the way down is symmetrical clipping, so you'll get the most compression. This will also drop the volume a little bit. And in the middle, there's no clipping, so it's completely uncompressed, the loudest setting and the most open as well. Other than that, we've got top-mounted jacks and power, and a really cool hand-drawn dirty sock in the corner that I love. For today's demo, I'm using my 1983 Greco RR65 Les Paul Custom, and this has cream tone A3 Deluxe pickups. And I'll be running that into my UAD Apollo X6 and using the Softube JMP 2203 amp sim. Okay, so for this first clip, we're going to have the deformation around 1 o'clock, the refine at 10, the mass is going to be maxed, the weight is also going to be maxed, the clipping will be in the center, so no clipping diodes, and then the octave will be off. What you'll hear in the beginning is just the weight or the boost side. The boost in this, because I have it all the way up, it's driving just enough to sound like a super loud, barely breaking up amp. Really awesome sound. When I think about my favorite sounds from a boost, this is kind of what I'm after. If it's just one knob and this is all I'm going to do with it, I want it to sound exactly like this does. It's really round and punchy and has grit the harder you dig in. And as you back off, it gets crystal clear and bell-like. It's gorgeous. Because I have both outputs of both stages of the pedal, when I click on the mass side, the distortion side, it's going to get so crumbly and destructive. Like I said, it really does sound like it's exploding. Just kind of the way the pedal works, it maintains enough definition and clarity to still hear what's going on while also still sounding like the world is ending. Okay, so in this next clip, we're going to go for a very squashed, spitty sound. So we're going to have the deformation around 3 o'clock, the refine just past noon, the mass is still going to be maxed, we're going to have the weight at noon, and the clipping at the symmetrical clipping, so all the way down, and then the octave at noon as well. We're going to start with just the mass side, and then towards the end, we'll engage the weight side, so you hear both going on at the same time. And you'll also hear how it can darken up a little more by turning the refine knob up. So it really rolls off the high end in a beautiful way, and it never gets muddy. It just gets more doomy, but it never sounds like there's no high end or anything like that. And we're going to pair that with the JPTR FX Fernweh. So this is just going to add a little bit of delay behind the signal. Enjoy. All right, next up, we're going to be somewhere between overdrive and distortion territory. So we're going to have the deformation around 9 o'clock. The refine is going to be maxed, so this will be kind of as dark as it goes. The mass is going to be maxed. The weight is going to be maxed. We're going to have the clipping all the way up in the asymmetrical clipping, so a little bit of compression. And we're going to have the octave off. For this example, we'll start with the mass side, and then we'll engage the weight. We're still going to pair it with the Fernweh. This time we're going to use it as a multi-delay, and that'll be going into the Chase Bliss Audio and Meris CXM 1978. And here we're going to have like a large hall reverb. What I love about this setting is how well the grittiness of the Black One, the grittiness of the Fernweh, and the very like crystal clear characteristics of the CXM 1978 complement each other. And while the mass side of the Black One is based on a rat pedal, it manages to do its own thing. You can hear kind of the essence of the rat in there, but it really does hold its own as just a great distortion circuit. And I love how if you use it distortion and then boost, you get a great kind of low to mid gain distortion and then a really thick, heavy distortion as you turn on the boost. So you can really play with the combinations and which one you're turning on first to create a certain type of atmosphere. lastly, we're going to run the Black One in a super unique, really rad, kind of mangled setting. So we're going to have the deformation completely off, the refine around 2 o'clock. The mass is still going to be maxed. We're maxing the weight, and the clipping will be in the middle, so no clipping diodes. And we're going to max the octave knob as well. Here we're going to start with the mass side again, and I'm going to be picking lightly because there's no distortion and the octave is all the way up. With analog octaves, it doesn't track perfectly. It's not like a computer matching exactly what you're playing. There is kind of a shift and wiggle. And it's also very dependent on the strength of the input signal. So if you pick lighter, the tone changes. If you switch to the neck pickup, the tone changes. A big thing with octave pedals, you'll hear a much more pronounced octave sound with the neck pickup. So we're going to be doing that. So you'll hear this really cool semi-ring modulated thing happening. And then when I click on the weight side, the boost, it just gets massive and thick. It doesn't necessarily get more distorted. It gets a little bit more distorted, of course, but it's not like I'm kicking on a bunch of gain. It just gets super thick. It almost, in this setting, it almost kind of shares some DNA with a harmonic percolator. So there's like sub octave coming in and the high octave. It's insane. This setting I fell in love with. I kept playing over and over and over. It's super rad. And we're still going to have the Fernweh paired with it. I don't know. I just really loved these two pedals together. So there's going to be a little delay going on at the same time. Enjoy. And that's a wrap for the Black One from Dirty Sock FX. Over the last few years, the platform of the Life's circuit has become very popular, and I couldn't be happier about it. I love that platform of having a distortion, a boost, and an octave, and everybody brings their own flavor to it. And that goes doubly so for this one. He really did something special. The sounds from it are, obviously there's some familiar aspects, but they're totally their own thing. This is a pedal I could put on my board at any time and be super confident that I'll be able to get basically anything I want out of it. The clean and low gain sounds really shine. And in a pedal like this, it's easy to overlook them because it does this world-ending, walls crumbling thing so well, and super gnarly octave up fuzz stuff. But as you can hear, the cleans are gorgeous, like really gorgeous, suspiciously nice. I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, I can't say enough good things about it. I love this pedal. It is really well made. If you're looking for a great pedal at a great price, this is something you should really consider. From super clean to insanely heavy and disgusting, this pedal really kind of does everything. And that'll do it for this week's demo. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, thank you. And if you're not, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll get notified every time I release a new video, which is every week. As always, the links to everything I'm using will be in the description below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next time, peace.